Fantasy fans, gather around, because today we're diving into 10 underrated fantasy anime that deserved way more attention than they ever got. From emotional journeys to chaotic magic disasters, these shows bring heat, heart, and seriously slept-on world-building. Kicking off with number 10, Grimgar, Ashes and Illusions. Grimgar is that anime where the fantasy world isn't just pretty scenery, it's stressful rent, emotional trauma, and monsters that actually want you dead. No overpowered protagonist, no flashy skills, just a group of terrified newbies trying not to cry every morning. And honestly, that's why it hits so hard. Watching Haruhiro's squad struggle to survive feels more grounded than half the isekai dropping every season. Team chemistry is messy, realistic, and painfully relatable because they actually argue about stuff like bills, chores, and whether someone looted the wrong corpse. The fights aren't epic because of power levels, they're epic because every swing looks like it might be their last. The show doesn't rush anything, letting every loss, every victory, every tiny emotional shift actually matter. It's fantasy, but with consequences, and that's exactly why it pulls you in deeper the longer you watch. Sliding to number 9, The Mystic Archives of Dantalian. Now this one feels like stepping into a gothic library where every book is one bad decision away from summoning a cosmic disaster. Huey and Dalian make the perfect grumpy caretaker meets tiny chaos librarian duo, fighting forbidden magic through actual reading. Yes, reading saves lives here. Dalian roasts Huey at every opportunity, carrying the same energy as a cat who barely tolerates its owner. The show blends mystery, supernatural puzzles, and gorgeous classical aesthetics that honestly deserved way more hype. Each Phantom book brings a new problem, whether it's twisted illusions, cursed knowledge, or magic users who clearly skipped their morality lessons. The pacing is tight, the world feels huge, and the vibes are unmatched. If you're into fantasy with a darker, bookish flavor, something between Black Butler and Mushishi, this series quietly delivers. Plus, Dalian's attitude alone makes half the episodes worth it. Landing on number 8, Akatsuki no Yona, Yona of the Dawn. Yona starts as a sheltered princess whose biggest problem is bad hair days, until betrayal slaps her kingdom into chaos and forces her into survival mode. And honestly, her glow-up is elite. Watching Yona go from delicate royal to bow-wielding warrior is one of the cleanest character transformations in fantasy anime. Huck stays by her side like the definition of loyal but tired, while the dragon warriors bring hilarious personalities that balance the heaviness of Yona's journey. The politics, the betrayal, the emotional stakes, everything blends into a character-focused adventure that deserved multiple seasons. Also, Suwon, yeah, that guy is the poster child for I didn't want to hate you, but wow, you're making it easy. The pacing gives every ally time to shine, the world building is both warm and dangerous, and the show knows exactly when to hit you with humor or heartbreak, an underrated masterpiece. Looking at number 7, Rage of Bahamut Genesis. This anime said, what if we throw demons, gods, bounty hunters, legendary beasts, and one cinnamon roll zombie girl into a blender? And honestly, it works. The animation stays crispy from start to finish, the adventure energy never drops, and Favaro is one of the most chaotic yet lovable troublemakers in fantasy. His rivalry turned friendship with Kaizar feels like two grown men cosplaying drama queens, and it's hilarious every time. Then there's Amira, adorable, deadly, and capable of leveling continents if she sneezes wrong. The show mixes comedy with high-stakes fantasy, delivering a wild ride that never slows down. And unlike many fantasy anime, it actually sticks the landing with a finale that feels earned, emotional, and explosive. Don't let the title fool you. This isn't some generic dragon story. It's a stylish, bold, beautifully animated adventure that deserves way more recognition than it gets. Cruising into number 6, Nyan Koi. Look, fantasy doesn't always need dramatic destinies and world-ending quests. Sometimes you're cursed to understand cats and your whole life becomes a furry nightmare. Nyan Koi is ridiculously funny because every cat in this show has the personality of a sarcastic uncle who hates your guts. Poor Junpei just wants to break his curse, confess to his crush, and touch some grass. But the universe keeps sending cats with problems that feel too petty to be real. From jealous strays to judgmental neighborhood pets, the feline drama never ends. The comedy pacing is sharp, The romance is wholesome chaos, and the supernatural curse keeps everything moving. It's not deep, but it's endlessly fun, and honestly, fantasy anime deserves more series that embrace straight-up comedy like this. If you've ever owned a cat, you know they already act like mystical overlords. This anime simply confirms it. Flying into number 5, Garo, the animation. If you're into dark fantasy with big armor, bigger monsters, and even bigger emotional trauma, Garo is your stop. This series blends medieval aesthetics with brutal demon-hunting action, sprinkled with surprisingly tender character moments. Leon's struggle with identity, responsibility, and the cursed flames inside him makes every battle feel more personal. Meanwhile, his father German is out here being the most chaotic mix of mentor, flirt, and disaster adult. The world building goes hard, diving into royal corruption, demonic possession, and the emotional weight of carrying magical armor that can literally eat you alive. The action scenes are stylish and cinematic, and the soundtrack makes everything feel 10 times more intense. Garo doesn't shy away from heavy themes, but it balances them with enough warmth and hope to keep the story gripping. This is one of those shows that deserved way more hype for its ambition alone. Storming forward to number 4, Mushibugyo. Mushibugyo feels like someone took Edo-era Japan, cranked up the chaos meter, and released giant nightmare insects into the streets. Jinbei joins the magistrate's office expecting glory, but instead ends up fighting bugs so big they deserve their own tax category. The action is fast, flashy, and full of exaggerated anime energy that never gets boring. The cast is wild, from stoic warriors to eccentric sorcerers, and everybody has their own style of smashing bug monsters into paste. It's over the top, but in the best way possible. The show mixes comedy, fan service, surprisingly emotional backstories, and non-stop battles without feeling messy. Jinbei's determination and kindness drive the heart of the story, while the fantasy elements keep the stakes high. If you're into quirky historical fantasy with insane fight scenes, this underrated gem delivers all the crunchy chaos you could want. Breaking into number 3, Moribito, Guardian of the Spirit. Now this is storytelling. Moribito doesn't rely on explosions or magic beams. It hooks you with detailed world-building, mature themes, and characters who feel painfully real. Bolsa is an elite bodyguard with the patience of a tired mother and the combat skills of someone who absolutely refuses to die. Protecting Prince Chagum becomes a journey filled with political conspiracies, ancient spirits, and emotional depth that sneaks up on you. Every fight is beautifully choreographed, every quiet moment has weight, and the narrative treats its audience with respect. The world feels lived in, the lore is rich, and the stakes feel grounded, even with supernatural elements in play. It's slow, thoughtful, and deeply rewarding. But trust me, number 3, it'll mess with your head in the best way possible. Sliding into number 2, The 12 Kingdoms. If world-building had a royalty system, this anime would be wearing a crown and refusing to give interviews. The 12 Kingdoms throws Yoko into a political, mythical, emotionally intense world, where growth is earned through pain, fear, and constant character development. Watching her transformation from insecure student to hardened ruler is one of fantasy anime's greatest arcs. The kingdoms each have their own laws, creatures, history, and political chaos, and the show respects its audience enough to unfold it all slowly and intelligently. The emotional storytelling hits hard, the stakes feel monumental, and the themes of responsibility, identity, and leadership stay relevant even today. It's complex, ambitious, and absolutely deserving of classic status. Seriously, if this anime dropped in 2025, it would take over TikTok discourse for a month. And finally, number 1, House of 5 Leaves. If you like slow-burn character studies, grounded drama, and art styles that look nothing like typical anime, House of 5 Leaves is your new obsession. This series follows Masa, a timid samurai who accidentally gets adopted by a group of criminals with the chillest kidnapping energy ever. Yaichi, the gang's leader, has so many secrets he might as well charge admission. The show focuses more on atmosphere, tension, and human psychology than action, and it excels at it. Every conversation feels loaded, every smile feels suspicious, and every reveal pulls you deeper into Yaichi's past. The animation style is soft, warm, and refreshingly unique, helping the quiet drama hit harder. It's the kind of anime that sneaks into your mind and stays there long after you finish it, whispering, "You didn't appreciate me enough." And honestly, it's right. And that wraps up our deep dive into 10 incredibly underrated fantasy anime you absolutely need on your watch list. Drop a comment telling me which one you're starting first, or which underrated gem I should cover next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow anime fans. More epic lists coming soon.